It's only 5 days, like we say, until the window closes, Dan. Back to Isak. What will he be thinking? Because he's made it pretty clear that he's not going to play for Newcastle again. So if this move doesn't happen, what's going to be going on in his head?
He will have to get on with it. Simple as that. I think players, he can't go a season without football. I think once the window shuts, all the noise will quieten down. He will slowly get reintegrated into the squad, and then he'll start playing football again, and he'll start scoring goals again, and then the fans will start to love him again. It will take a bit of time. But he's a world-class number 9, a world-class forward. Everyone saw the game on Monday night. Yes, Gordon had a 3-4 chance in the first half. Would Isak score? Possibly, no one knows. But he adds a huge threat to that team, and they were fantastic the other night. So with Isak in that front three as well, they can go on and do special things this season.
I mean, there's been reports, co-owners have gone to Alexander Isak's house. I mean, have you ever heard anything like that? And how would you have felt if a co-owner had come to your house?
Well, it makes you feel really important. That's for sure. I think it's a strange situation. Obviously, they're trying to make it amicable between the club, the player, the manager, the fans. They're trying to bring it all together. Everyone's trying to help the situation out. The only thing I can probably think they were talking about is give us one more year. Yeah. We'll give you the new contract, and then we'll put a release clause in it for the summer. 2 years left on your contract. We can still make some money on you, but just give us one more year. It reminds me of the Salah situation last year when Saudi were bidding huge amounts of money for Mo Salah. He wanted that big bumper pay rise. He got it, and this is very similar to that situation.
And the Alexander Isak saga, it just goes on and on. Charlie and Jason. Jason, let's start with you. Look, it's a matter of days to go until this window closes, and we are still talking about this Alexander Isak saga. How does it end for you?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, or the £150 million question, isn't it, really? But I'm not sure is the answer. I think I was at Newcastle United last night. I was at St James's Park. I saw the game. And when Yasser Al-Rumayyan, the Newcastle chairman, was by the side of the pitch at the end of the game consoling Eddie Howe, I think that was seen as a public sign that they were hoping to find some sort of resolution to this saga. And obviously there was talks yesterday with Alexander Isak. Unfortunately for Newcastle, it's transpired today that he has dug in even deeper and is more than ever determined to leave. I think there was some hope that maybe there might be an announcement today that he'd agreed to stay a little bit longer, their new contract had been agreed and so on and so forth, but that just hasn't happened. I think the key to this is from the statement last week from Newcastle, so the conditions haven't been met for the sale. And there are two clear conditions. One is to sign the replacements for Alexander Isak and also Callum Wilson, and for the fee they want to be reached as well. And at this point in time, we're very far away from both of those two things happening. And with less than a week to go, it means that it's less and less likely that he will leave. I think even more than the fee, I think it's getting the replacement sorted out. And that just hasn't happened for Newcastle. They have been trying, which shows that they are willing to trade. I know there's been talk of them sort of saying they're not going to sell come what may, but I think there has been an acceptance that if they can get the right sort of conditions, then they would accept the deal. Although I think they would still try and insist on £150 million. So to cut a long story short, at the moment, I think he's still staying.
Charlie, Jason says at the moment staying, but with time running out in this window for both Newcastle and Liverpool. And Jason made the point about trying to bring in replacements. Just first of all, your view on how you think this will end. Do you think he will still be a Newcastle United player come, 7 p.m. it is, isn't it, on deadline day next Monday?
I think it's looking more that way. And as Jason said, it's difficult to get one top player at a Premier League club and everything that goes into a big transfer. But to get two real key players in at a club, it's going to be a hell of a task for Newcastle to do that. And obviously we're going to need Liverpool to, look to increase their bid, 110. It was silly really that they bid that amount, because obviously it was never going to be accepted. Obviously clubs often start with a low bid, but that was 3 weeks ago. Liverpool aren't willing, it seems, to go anywhere near £150 million. That's what Newcastle want. So at the moment, we're going around in circles. We're not going anywhere. And we've got a player that I think it's not a surprise that Isak's dug in, because I think he had to, particularly, the statement he's made not that long ago. So I'm not surprised, having met, some of the club officials, that he's decided to refuse to play. But there's going to come a time he's got to realise that it's going to be increasingly unlikely that Liverpool are going to get near Newcastle's valuation. But of course, Newcastle getting 2 key players in. So the longer we go, this saga continues, the more likely at some stage we're going to see Alexander Isak playing for Newcastle again. But
Crystal Palace's Marc Guehi. Do you believe he will be making a move, and will it be to Liverpool?
It's still difficult to know at this point. One thing we know is he's unlikely to sign a new contract at Crystal Palace. He's likely to depart the club. It's whether it's going to be this summer or next summer. Liverpool don't want to overpay for a player who's into the last year of his contract. Marc Guehi probably wants some assurances about game time, though when you consider the performances of Ibrahim Konate over the first 2 Premier League matches, you would expect him to come in straight away, and that's no disrespect to Konate. But he's been playing for Crystal Palace. He's been keeping his head down. He's been captaining the side. They've got off to a decent start this season. As things stand, he will remain a Crystal Palace player because there's been no fresh approaches from Liverpool. He could leave if Palace find a suitable replacement and there's a suitable offer that comes in. They've been looking at Manuel Akanji. I think Palace accept it's unlikely he's going to sign a new contract at the club. And after 4 really successful seasons, you can understand why he probably feels the need to further his career. He's in England international now. He probably deserves to be playing for one of the top clubs in the Premier League, if not in Europe. He'll be in a situation in January where he could speak to the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, if they are interested in signing him, because there's plenty of interest in signing this man next summer when he will be a free agent. And maybe it's better for Guehi's career if he stays at Crystal Palace this season, has that stability playing at Crystal Palace where he's been the last 4 years, make sure he's in the starting 11 for England at the World Cup, gets to the summer when he can have any club what he wants and do that. That's probably what he's thinking right now as well.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott is now in the final stages of completing a move to RB Leipzig, with sources close to both clubs confirming that a deal is nearing agreement. The 22-year-old midfielder has found regular game time difficult to come by under new Liverpool manager Arne Slot and has decided to pursue a fresh challenge abroad in search of more consistent minutes. Leipzig see Elliott as a perfect replacement for Xavi Simons, who is expected to leave the Bundesliga side this summer, and are believed to have met Liverpool's asking price of around £40 to £45 million. Elliott has reportedly been impressed by Leipzig's project, their track record of developing young talent, and the opportunity to play regularly in both domestic and European competitions. Although Elliott had expressed his desire to stay at Liverpool in the past, his recent comments about needing to make selfish decisions for the good of his career now carry even more weight. A medical and official announcement could follow within days as the clubs finalize the final details of the transfer. Kostas Tsimikas, meanwhile, is also expected to leave Liverpool this summer, as the club looks to trim the squad and reshape its defensive options. The Greek left-back, who joined from Olympiacos in 2020, has largely served as a backup to Andy Robertson but has struggled for form and fitness over the last year. Under Arne Slot's new tactical system, there's little room for a traditional fullback like Tsimikas, and the club has reportedly set a price tag of £10 to £15 million. Several clubs across Serie A and La Liga have shown interest, and talks are said to be ongoing with multiple parties. With limited playing time and 2 years left on his current contract, a move away from Anfield is seen as the logical next step for both player and club. Liverpool are expected to pursue a more modern, tactically flexible fullback profile as part of Slot's rebuild once Tsimikas departs.